So I quit drinking alcohol about 5 years ago now, and I quit drinking unintentionally. It was the wildest thing because I really struggled with my drinking for about 10 years. And throughout that time, I tried to quit drinking literally dozens of times. I might make it 1 or 2 days after a horrible hangover where I wake up and say, I'm never drinking again, but then I'm back at it a day or two later. I might make it a couple of weeks or a couple months. I made it 6 months one time. But for 10 years, it was so hard for me to moderate my drinking at all. I almost always binge drank until blackout and didn't said things that I regretted, which would cause me to kind of tell myself, okay, I'm an alcoholic. I can't drink. I need to quit. But what would happen is even though I would be really motivated to quit and want to get this problem over with and move on from alcohol addiction, is that I would always return to it again, whether it was a couple weeks, couple months later. And the reason I was always struggling with it is because I realize now that my brain was really craving alcohol. Like I kept relapsing and returning to drinking again because I really wanted to drink. I was like white knuckling it and just forcing myself not to drink until one day something set me off. I had a bad day or I had a good day or whatever. I would just be like, screw it, I'm going to drink. And so this cycle went on for years and years until I started on a treatment in 2017 called the Sinclair Method. It's been around for decades. A lot of people don't know about it, but this treatment actually works to gradually reverse alcohol addiction inside of the brain. And what's so unique about this treatment is that it started while someone is still drinking. So I started this treatment without abstaining from alcohol. And also, it doesn't require somebody to go abstinent through the treatment. In fact, most people who use the Sinclair Method have a goal to just reduce their drinking and become more of a moderate social drinker. Like that was my goal. I didn't want to have to quit drinking forever and say I could never touch alcohol again. What I wanted was to have it in my life and be able to have, champagne at a wedding or beer on a hot day, but like have one or two and not overdo it. So I started on this treatment in 2017 and I was a daily binge drinker. And just over the course of a year that I did this treatment, my drinking just gradually decreased little by little. I was having more alcohol-free days. When I was drinking, I would literally have 1 or 2 or 3 maybe glasses of wine and I just wouldn't want more. Like I was someone who could always finish a bottle of wine like in an hour or two. Like I was a very quick chugger. I would chug alcohol and I would just drink so much and open up the second bottle. But I got to a point where like I couldn't even finish like the third glass anymore. And it was just so shocking to see myself really get this control back over alcohol, which I really didn't have for 10 years. And so the longer I was on the treatment, the less I was drinking, the less interest I had in alcohol, the less desire and craving I had for it, to where I was spending most of my time alcohol free and I was drinking maybe 1 or 2 days a month. And when I was drinking, I would have like 1 or 2 drinks. So the last time that I drank alcohol was not supposed to be the last time that I drank. It was just one night. I remember it very clearly. I was out at a restaurant with some friends and I ordered a glass of red wine. And I remember that I couldn't even finish the glass of wine, which was like unheard of for me before this treatment. I would drink every last drop. I would drink my husband's glass, my friend's glass. I would drink everything. But I drank like 2/3 of the glass and I just didn't want more. Maybe kind of like if you go out and order a dessert and it's big and rich and sweet and you eat most of it, but you're like, yeah, I just don't want anymore. I'm kind of grossed out by it. So that's where I was at with alcohol the last time I drank. Again, I was drinking very infrequently, and whenever I was drinking, it was very much in moderation. But then what happened for me after that is that I just kept going longer and longer without drinking because it literally didn't occur to me anymore to drink. Like I just didn't have any craving or desire for alcohol. And most of the time when someone would offer it to me, I'd be like, no, that doesn't sound good. Which again was like unheard of for me because I was a daily drinker. Alcohol always sounded good. I always wanted to drink. I always wanted to get buzzed. But after a year on this treatment, I just got to a place where alcohol kind of grossed me out. And I honestly preferred having a clear mind. I didn't really like the taste of it anymore. I didn't like the buzz effects of it anymore. And really, it just didn't interest me any longer. So I kept going longer and longer without drinking. Like I said, before that, I was drinking about once or twice a month. And then I was just going longer. I'd go 2 months, then 3 months, and 4 months. And after 4 months of not drinking and not having any craving or desire or temptation to drink, I was like, maybe I'll go alcohol free. Maybe I'll just quit drinking because it's something that honestly doesn't interest me anymore. It doesn't add anything to my life. I have no desire for it. I didn't have any urge to drink whatsoever. And so that was now 5 years ago and like I said, I never intended to quit drinking. But what I found is that the longer I was on this treatment, just the less interest I had in alcohol. And it was a gradual process. It wasn't an overnight fix. Like I said, I was on it for a year and starting it as a daily heavy drinker with the goal to be more of someone who drank a couple of glasses of wine a couple of nights a week. And I did that for quite a while on the treatment. But the longer I was on the treatment, I just didn't really care about drinking anymore. One of the things that was so appealing to me, though, about this treatment is that I was able to start it while I was still drinking, because when I first started this treatment, I had zero desire and zero goals to quit drinking. In fact, the thought of never drinking again terrified me, and I wanted to be a social drinker. And so I was really excited that, oh my gosh, there's this really effective treatment that will help me just reduce my drinking over time. That's exactly what I've been looking for. But the longer I was on the treatment, like I said, I just kind of became uninterested in alcohol. And so my goals kind of changed. And, keeping alcohol in my life was no longer a goal for me just because I didn't really care for alcohol anymore. But a lot of people who do this treatment have those same goals of drinking in moderation, and they're able to do that as well through the treatment. So for me, it's really appealing for a lot of people because it doesn't require abstinence. And if people have a goal to drink in moderation, it's totally doable for most of us through this. So that's how I quit drinking alcohol accidentally. And like I said, it's been about 5 years since I drank, and the results of the method have been permanent for me. I haven't had my cravings come back. I haven't had any temptation or urges to drink whatsoever in the last 5 years. And in fact, the thought of alcohol, it just doesn't appeal to me anymore. I kind of tell people it's my least favorite food. I don't ever crave it. I don't want it. I don't miss it or anything. It's just something that I don't enjoy anymore. I don't like anymore. And there's so much freedom that comes with that, because when I would try to quit drinking before the Sinclair Method, it was this white knuckled forced battle where I was just fighting an urge to drink every single day and just saying, don't drink today, don't drink today. But with this treatment, it became a non-issue where it didn't occur to me to drink anymore, and I just didn't care about alcohol anymore. So I really feel like I became empowered over alcohol as opposed to being powerless over alcohol. So again, this treatment is called the Sinclair Method. It's been around since the 90s. There's decades of research behind it, but a lot of people don't know that it exists, unfortunately. I stumbled on it in 2017 myself, and every day I hear from people who also stumble on it, whether through my videos or elsewhere, and the most common question I get is, why isn't it more well known? Which maybe that's a video for another time. But if you want to learn more about it, all my videos on here are about it, so you can check those out. I have some playlists as well that you can look at that dive into specific topics. And also the link in our profile will take you to more information about the treatment, free resources, and also a place where you can get started on the treatment if you want to. This has really become my life's work. Now that I've gotten free myself through this method, I've just kind of been on fire to not only advocate for it, but help others through the treatment. So I hope this is helpful to even just one person. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.